fake injury? That's what Retief Goosen once said about Tiger Woods. But what if Goosen himself had something to hide? At 56, most golfers are playing weekend rounds with their buddies. Not Reteif Goosen. The South African is still grinding on the PGA Tour Champions, collecting wins in 2019, 2022, and 2024. He even snagged Rookie of the Year and the Byron Nelson Award in 2019. Not bad for a guy who was supposed to fade away years ago. But here's the thing about the Iceman. That calm, emotionless face has been hiding decades of controversy, career collapses, and questions that fans are only now starting to ask. Today, we're digging into the real story behind one of golf's most puzzling figures. Let's start with the moment that supposedly created the monster. February 1987. 15-year-old Retief Goosen is playing golf with his friend Henri Potgieter at Petersburg Golf Club. Light drizzle, nothing unusual. Then lightning strikes. Goosen gets hit directly. His clothes burn off his body, his shoes disintegrate, his underwear and watch band melt to his skin. Henri finds him lying there, tongue down his throat, eyes rolled back, barely breathing. Henri thinks his friend is dead. A doctor happened to be nearby and brought him back to life within minutes. Goosen wakes up in the hospital looking like a mummy, covered in bandages. 3 weeks later, he's back on the golf course. His mother claims the lightning strike created his famous calm demeanor. Goosen himself jokes that, "The lightning sparked something in me." Sports psychologists love this story. They say trauma made him mentally bulletproof. But what if it made him something else? What if it made him cold in ways that would hurt his career for decades? From 2001 to 2005, Goosen dominated golf. 2 U.S. Opens, World number 4, European Tour number 1 for 2 straight years. His 2001 U.S. Open win famously ended Tiger's historic Tiger Slam. He was ice cold under pressure, sinking crucial putts when others cracked. But here's what nobody talks about. While Goosen was winning majors, he was losing the popularity contest. Badly. His emotionless personality made sponsors run the other way. Phil Mickelson was getting massive endorsement deals. Goosen was getting overlooked. A 2005 analysis showed his endorsement money was pathetic compared to his peers, despite his success on the course. The very thing that made him great at golf made him terrible at everything else. He couldn't connect with fans. He couldn't sell products. He was a ghost in his own sport. Then came 2005. The win stopped, just like that. After 7 PGA Tour victories during his peak, Goosen managed only 3 more wins on the main tour for the rest of his career. What happened? The injuries started piling up. Now, before we go deeper into Goosen's biggest scandals, here's a quick word about today's sponsor. If you're into watching golf's biggest moments unfold live, check out Fubo. They've got comprehensive PGA Tour coverage plus tons of other sports streaming options. Links in the description. Support the channel and catch every shot. Back to Goosen's collapse. The injury list reads like a medical textbook. 1999, broken left arm in a skiing accident. 2010, broken toe while playing with his kids, forcing him to miss major tournaments. Then the back problems started in 2011 and never really stopped. Multiple surgeries, 6-month layoffs. By 2013, he was basically done as a competitive force. But here's the cruel irony. Goosen was a precision player in a sport increasingly dominated by power. As golf analysts noted, precision players decline faster when their reflexes fade. While power hitters can muscle their way through aging, guys like Goosen need perfect timing and consistency. Every injury, every surgery, every month off the course eroded his foundation. The injuries weren't his only problem. Goosen's mouth got him in trouble too. June 2008. Tiger Woods had just won the U.S. Open while clearly struggling with a knee injury that would require season-ending surgery. Goosen decides to make tongue-in-cheek comments suggesting Tiger might have been faking the severity of his injury. The backlash was swift and brutal. Goosen quickly posted an apology on his website saying, "Talk about putting my foot in my mouth." He called it a misunderstanding, claimed his humor didn't translate well in print, and tried to contact Tiger directly. But the damage was done. This incident exposed a huge weakness in Goosen's public persona. His reserved nature, which worked on the golf course, was a liability in media relations. He couldn't read the room. He couldn't gauge public sentiment. In an era where charisma was becoming as important as skill, Goosen was falling further behind. Speaking of falling behind, let's talk about his most controversial victory. The 2004 U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills remains one of the most debated majors ever. The final day conditions were described as brutal. The greens were so dry and fast that players were intentionally aiming for bunkers just to have a chance at par. Here's where it gets interesting. The USGA took the unprecedented step of watering the greens mid-round. But here's the kicker. They only watered them after the early groups had already suffered through impossible conditions. The leaders, including Goosen and Phil Mickelson, got to play on much easier, softer greens. The average final round score was 78.7. Nobody finished under par, but the leading group averaged 75.9 because they played after the USGA's emergency watering. Critics argued the leaders got an unfair advantage. While Goosen's putting was brilliant that day and he deserved to win, according to most observers, the controversy tainted the victory for some fans. This pattern kept repeating. Even Goosen's successes came with asterisks. Even his greatest moments were overshadowed by external factors. It's like the golf gods were conspiring against his legacy. And then there was the Tiger factor. Goosen's entire prime coincided with Tiger Woods' reign of terror. A 2006 poll revealed that 62% of fans couldn't even name Goosen as a multiple major winner. Think about that. The guy won 2 U.S. Opens, and most golf fans had no idea. Tiger didn't just dominate golf, he changed what it meant to be a golf star. Suddenly, personality mattered as much as performance. Media savviness became essential. Goosen, with his lightning-forged stoicism, was perfectly built for the old era of golf, but completely unprepared for the new one. By 2010, it was clear Goosen's time was over. The injuries had taken their toll. Younger, more powerful players were taking over. His swing changes in the late 2000s disrupted his rhythm even further. The precision-based game that made him great was becoming obsolete in golf's power era. But here's where the story gets weird. Just when everyone wrote him off, Goosen found new life on the PGA Tour Champions. 2019 was supposed to be a retirement tour. Instead, he won his first senior major, the Bridgestone Senior Players Championship. He was named Rookie of the Year and won the Byron Nelson Award for lowest scoring average. More wins followed in 2022 and 2024. Suddenly, the Iceman was hot again. But was this real success or just the benefit of weaker competition and easier courses? Critics argue the senior tour is a different beast entirely. Shorter courses, smaller fields, less pressure. Maybe Goosen's late career success says more about the competition level than his own skills. Others see it differently. They argue Goosen finally found an environment where his precision game could thrive again, where his course management and putting skills mattered more than raw power, where his experience and mental toughness gave him an edge over players still adjusting to aging bodies. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. Goosen's senior success is real, but it's also convenient. He's competing against players dealing with their own age-related declines on courses designed to be more forgiving. His wins are legitimate, but they're not the same as beating Tiger in his prime. At 56, Reteif Goosen remains golf's great enigma. He's accomplished yet overlooked, successful yet unfulfilled. The lightning strike that supposedly created his calm demeanor also created his biggest weakness, an inability to connect with the modern golf audience. He won 2 majors but couldn't win over fans. He mastered pressure but couldn't master publicity. He survived lightning but couldn't survive the changing landscape of professional golf. His injuries stole his prime years. The Tiger era stole his spotlight. Poor timing and worse luck conspired to undervalue one of golf's most talented players. Now, as he continues competing at 56, maybe Goosen is finally finding peace with his legacy. He's not trying to be a star anymore. He's not fighting for endorsements or popularity contests. He's just playing golf, the way he always did best, quietly, efficiently, and with ice in his veins. The Iceman's career proves that talent alone isn't enough in modern sports. You need timing, luck, charisma, and perfect health. Goosen had the talent but missed on almost everything else. His story isn't about failure. It's about the cruel mathematics of sporting greatness and how the best player doesn't always get the recognition they deserve. Maybe that's the most fitting legacy for someone struck by lightning and marked by controversy. Not the hero of his own story, but the complicated, talented, unlucky protagonist of one of golf's most fascinating careers.